Hey guys, we've got a cut file here, part of the exclusive cut files that Anita makes for us in the Kitaholic Kits subscribers group. And I've just got all these little pieces of paper left from the kit, and this is the June Kitaholic Kits, and then I'm just trying to find some photos that could work. So again, I've got my album here, and you can see I've got some layouts and some photos just filed in there, ready to use and keep in order, so that I don't get, so I don't run out of photos, but also so I can have things in order, ready to go. So I thought that I could use these love heart balloons to have a photo in each of them. It took me a little while to work out what kind of photos could work. Now, I had to be in the right placement because the balloons are on a bit of an angle, so when it's sitting on the paper, I wanted to be able to see the photos individually rather than moving your head to see them all and things like that. And I wondered if like a beach photo would work, but those ones were too tiny. I did know I had multiple of them, but they were too tiny. And then I try and just have a little play, and then I realized that I'm going to need to use, that photo really looked nice, like a 4x4 photo would be a good idea, so that it didn't I even tried the star, so that it didn't cut off the photo. So I'm going to, you can see here I've got the 4x4 that I printed for my memory decks project, which I have barely done anything for, but anyway, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's got many started then unfinished projects. But then from those stash, I pulled out a couple of photos where the two boys are together, out and about having adventures. So the top one there is that, I don't know, they just, all of a sudden I was taking a photo. They're young in that photo, maybe like 4 and 6. And then I was taking a photo of them in front of the Parliament House. And they just put their hands up like they were holding Parliament House. They obviously missed because I didn't know they were going to do that, and I've never seen them do it before, so it's quite hilarious actually. The bottom right photo is the two of them together at their preschool playground when I believe it would have been Oliver was at preschool, or maybe Patrick was at preschool and Oliver was early intervention. No, I'm pretty sure preschool by that shirt that Oliver's wearing. And then the one on the left is when we were in Japan at one of the castles. We'd gone for a big walk at Hiroshima, and we were up the top of the hill at the castle, and I said take a photo, and Oliver apparently didn't want to smile, so Patrick had made him smile, and I've got about 20 photos of the montage of them trying to smile. And then it's funny because a while later, I don't think we were in Japan, I can't remember what photos it was, but there was another time when I was looking for photos that then I seen Oliver trying to make Patrick laugh because he didn't, or smile because he didn't want to. Anyway, I am literally just gluing the photo down to the love heart. I am keeping the little balloon attachment down the bottom covered with the photo so that it is filled in, so it does look like it is the photo. And then I'm just carefully cutting behind it, making sure that it is not visible outside the cut file, but also that I don't cut any other piece of the cut file, because that would probably not be the idea of cutting the cut file and then cutting it down to ruin it. So I'm just going to quickly put on the third one. You can see it doesn't take long at all. Just a little bit of glue, and this Tombow mono glue, this is where I had to make sure that the photo is going to sit up properly, and I wondered whether I wanted Parliament House in there or not, but I don't. I want the boys. So that Tombow mono aqua, no, I don't know if it's aqua, it's the glue that is the green and white bottle. It's really good. It doesn't buckle up or leak everywhere and stuff. So it's really nice, and only a little bit comes out as needed, which is another good factor. Now this one has got the star there, so I had to cut in on that star so that it didn't, because the star's meant to be on top. So that way when I back the star, you can see the pattern paper. Now this is where that top balloon was making it floppy a bit, and I didn't want to break it, so I have to be pretty careful. Anyway, so I'm going to decide on which background piece. I really don't have too much 12 by 12 pattern paper left of this June kit at the moment, so trying to work it out. And then I decide this is black and white one's going to be great, and then I'm going to use this Vicky Buden piece of orange pattern paper to cover the stars. Now I was a bit lazy, didn't even do one at a time, which means I cut further into my pattern paper than I probably ideally should, but at this point, this is why I don't often do cut files, because it takes a bit to be organized to have your cut files, and I have worked better at doing that by cutting them in my monthly prep videos. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go check. I've got a few on at my channel, but in terms of backing them, if they're too intricate or if I'm spending forever on a layout, I feel like I could be making more layouts, and I sort of get a bit annoyed and just do it a bit more lazy. Or I just say, nope, no cut files, no thanks. Even though I really like cut files, it's just something that takes a little bit more extra effort, which is crazy because everything takes effort. Mixed media takes effort, arranging pattern paper takes effort, but I don't know, it's just, I guess, it's one of those things that I'm not entirely used to yet. Anyway, just cutting down the star. I kept it in because to show you that it really isn't that hard. It's just a little bit tiny fiddly, but you just need to be careful cutting it, making sure you watch out for the other bits of your cut file, and that you're cutting on an angle so that the pattern paper behind it is cut underneath the cut file rather than to the edge of the cut file, because then you can see it sitting out the side. Just clean my hands because I had glue everywhere, and then I'm going to use this darker orange. Nope, I'm going to use this corally orange to back the ribbon. And I just put this little piece here because to make it stronger. It was really flimsy, that piece. So I put it there, just the width of the string of the balloon, so that it is holding it but not making it stick out. So just going to quickly give that a cut, and then the ribbon is going to be backed. And then I decide against using that black and white pattern paper. Instead, I pull out some mixed media, which you've probably seen from the thumbnail, to instead make my background, which I couldn't have planned any better. It just looks so cool. Very, very cool, really. And it's one of those ones, when you're just thinking, oh, well, I'll just, I've got this here, I'll use this product, and, that's what I was thinking with this cut file. I'm going to challenge myself to use it. Whatever happens, happens. And instead, I got a layout that I absolutely love, and was like, wow, if I'd thought about that before, it definitely wouldn't have been as cool as it was when I just created. Just cleaning my scissors because there was glue on them, and before the glue dried, I just used a baby wipe to get it. Now I just sprayed some water onto the background, and then I'm just using my nozzle from the spray to drop some glue. It's just like using an eyedropper. In fact, you could use an eyedropper. And just having a little bit of ink splatters around so that the colour spreads, and just having to think about the fact that the cut file will be to the right side of this layout, so I want top to bottom to cover behind the background, and then a little bit to the right so that I have some space to add some, like a title, the photo, and the journaling. I just spritz some water on to spread it a bit, blow dry it, and using my heat gun to dry it, and then I just sprinkled on some water. And then if you dry up the water, usually I use a paper towel, but obviously I didn't have any, so I use my heat gun, and that just gives that bleach look. So you can see there to the left of my hand where the colour is all different. So I just now I'm using my stencil that we got in the kit. We also got this Distress Oxide in the kit. I just put some of that Distress Oxide on to my mat, and then I'm just using a dabber. And so you need to just like squash out some of the colour so that it's not too wet in your dabber. to be able to put it through a stencil. Now I'm not going for perfect, obviously. I like the grunge look, but I do want to be able to see some shape to it. So it's just really fun to go over the stencil like that. Now the other thing about Distress Oxides, it's really cool because I first put the first layer on with the water and then dubbed it in. It meant the water reacted to the Distress Oxide and made that different color. Now when I'm just used it now on this dabber, I haven't watered it down, so it's a bit of a darker color. So you can, and then I've bleached it with that water, so you can see that those 3 techniques made 3 different tones of that color to make its own background. Now if you remember, I just literally said that I put the color to the right of the page so that I could cover that with the cut file and have it sitting. Now as I put the fun foam on and put it down, I preferred to see a lot more of the mixed media to the left, so I turned my page upside down and did it that way. I've just spelled out Brothers with some thickers that I've got. They're black with some like white writing, like kind of just look to it, mixed media kind of look. And then I've got it on some plastic so I can work out where I want it. And then I've added a single line border. And I then thought, oh, I should add some scripty stamping to the background. But my glue has worked so well that I can't pull up the cut file. Instead, I'm just going to have to be a bit careful and put some stamping to the background. See if there's anything I can lift up and just be a bit slow when adding it rather than the fast I would be if there was no cut file stuck down. So that was really cool to add some black to the background, add some extra detail, and just add some dimension and depth to the background. So again, I'm going to pull out this stencil. I'm just pulling out my permanent marker and I'm just going through some of the lines to add that to the background as well. Now really you should finish your background before sticking your cut file down. I don't know why, because normally I wouldn't just think that one layer of, I guess there was 2 because I did the bulk of the color and then I put the Distress Oxide through the stencil, but that's alright. But you can definitely fix it. You can see here I'm working around the fact that I've stuck my cut file down, but I wanted to add more to the background, so I literally am. I'm just making it work. Nothing can stop me. Oh, I make myself laugh. Gosh. So just adding some random little spots. I've got the line ones and the cross ones that I'm using in the stencil. And it's just literally a permanent marker. So you could use a Sharpie or any other permanent marker or black pen or anything that you want. And adding some black splatters with my it'll be a stain. It'll be probably its distress stain. Now, did you just see what happened? I just got a big ink splat on Patrick's head. Ah! Now, I get so frustrated. It's not printed on a selfie. If it was printed on the selfie, I'd be able to wipe it off with the wipe, but it's not. So it's on there. We're just going to live with it. I love the back page too much. And really, what I can do is go back in, reprint this cut file, and just have cut out that heart, print the photo again, and then stick it on. That would fix it if I feel so inclined. And I got out my eyedropper, you see, and I made some bigger splats with my black spray to add it on there. And again, I'm coming in with the orange to add some ink splats. Being a little bit more careful, but look, I still didn't even cover over my photos. Like, I literally got it, ruined that photo, and still I didn't learn from my lesson literally minutes later. Anyway, I'm going to put my title. I have made it longer. I've got Brothers in Life. Now, I'm not loving the fact that I spelt the word brothers half on one side of the ribbon and the other on the other side of the ribbon. I don't know. Let me know down below what you think, but it's stuck down now because they were chipboard thickers. I did have to use glue to stick them down. And I'm just going in with a paint pen just to add some little dots, just to have another layer. It just looked like it needed it. There's no rhyme or reason to it really. And here is my finished layout. So hopefully that's inspired you and to create, but also inspired you to keep going even if you make a mistake like putting the cut file down before you finish your background with all the mixed media. Okay guys, thanks for joining me this video, and I'll catch you next one. Bye!